You take aim at, the Kardashians, their elites. They've reached this by merchandising and popularizing larger than normal posteriors, you write, posting selfies of their ample boobs and butts. That's amazing. I love that. But then you point out that the brilliant Thomas Sowell or Shelby Steele, they're not elites. Instead, Ibram Kendi and Joy Reid, they are, right? The juxtaposition, it all comes down to politics. What are your politics? And that's why people like Michelle Tafoya do need to be careful about speaking out about their conservative values, because these industries will punish her where they wouldn't punish somebody who is necessarily going, equally left, like center left. Maybe far left they'd punish, but they would never punish center left.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The arts by nature and academia have always been left center, but what's different now is they have projected the idea that they are in control, and this is the mainstream, even though there's not very much popular support. And most people don't have an ideology, the 80% in the middle, but they react to perceived momentum or pressure, and they want to be part of a winning team. Sort of like no fans when the 49ers are 0-10 and packed stadiums when they're 10-0. But the left has created this illusion that they control all these institutions, and therefore the majority of America are with them. And so I think it's very incumbent upon people to keep trying to remind America that they don't have popular support and that they have an agenda that's by any abstract measure, empirical standard, is unsustainable. It just won't work. You can't have a country when the elites don't believe in it. They don't think it's better than the alternative. They always look at the sum total of what is wrong with America, and that becomes America rather than incidental to a great nation. So I think the midterms, we always say these are the most important midterms. Usually they're not, but if there is a referendum on all of this and is a large Republican victory, not that I'm trying to be a megaphone for the Republicans, I think it will have a profound effect. It'll be sort of like the McGovern era came to a terrible close, and then people started pointing fingers, and then the Democratic Party went to Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton and went back. But I think they have to have a political rebuke, or this will continue.
Following up on that, I did read you're a registered independent, which I am as well. Why is that? Because some people might be surprised you're not a Republican.
I grew up in a Democratic household, and I'm speaking from this farm that was been in my family since 1870. House where I'm speaking is 150 years old, and we were all agrarians, small farmers. My grandparents didn't go to college, and there was the idea of this is a great country. The Democratic Party gave us Social Security. I had an aunt that was bedridden, and she lived here for 70 years, and she had Social Security disability. When she got that was a wonderful thing. And it was the idea that the little guy, the middle class, was the backbone of America, and they felt, fairly or not, that the Republican Party was easily caricatured as golfers, who were wealthy, the 1%, et cetera. And then, so I was a Democrat, and then I saw what we have been talking about, that the Democratic Party is becoming really a party of the mega rich, or the upper middle class, and the very poor, and that the middle class now is gravitated toward the Republicans of all different races. I think that's starting. So I guess it was tradition or habit that I didn't register as Republican, but there were certain things. I'll be a little bit candid here. During the Bush years, and I don't know how to say it, but in the business that I got into of writing, there were a certain type of Republican pundit, intellectual, that was condescending to people. And I felt they didn't have a familiarity with the muscular classes. They didn't get out of New York or Washington. And they always were talking about, if we just had capital gains, if we could just privatize Social Security without ever having people that their lifeblood was Social Security. So even though I was in some ways more conservative than them, especially on the border, they were always telling, I got attacked from all these Republicans. Let the market adjudicate the border. When it gets down to $2 an hour, they won't come. But so I just thought that I got kind of tired of the Republicans. And then, Trump, everybody makes fun of him, but he did bring a nationalist populist flavor to traditionalism, and said the middle class, when he started using the word our farmers, our workers, I thought that was, for all of the criticism of him, there is a movement in the Republican Party to reflect the middle class. And I think that I approved that, but I didn't feel comfortable with traditional Romneyism or McCainism. I don't know. The Bushes, I liked them, but I just felt that they weren't part of the world that I see here in southwestern Fresno County, and yet the left had gone unhinged, so I didn't know where to go. So I just stayed an independent.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.